Hi YouTube, this is Sandeep here, and I want to quickly talk about today a couple of features which we have on Fujifilm XT1. I have already posted a review on the button layout, the dial layout, and the image quality of this particular camera. So if you have already looked at it, thank you. If you're not, just go ahead and take a look at it. Today, I want to quickly talk about the options this camera gives with respect to the bracketing functionality and the focus peaking and how to enable them. So first, let's take a look at the bracketing functionality. And in order to do so, we need to go into the menu. And in the menu option, the first menu itself is the bracketing setting. And when you look at the bracketing setting, I have several bracketing options. The first option is to choose what type of bracketing I need. That is, when I go into the bracketing options, I have AE bracketing, that is auto exposure bracketing, ISO bracketing, film simulation bracketing, dynamic range bracketing, white balance bracketing. So from looking at all of this, the main thing which impresses me is the AE bracketing, because if you look at it, AE bracketing is the only bracketing where I change the exposure and or rather I would say change the shutter speed to meet the exposure requirement and click three pictures. In case of ISO bracketing, what I'm basically doing is changing the ISO and taking images with that. Although I'm trying to meet the same requirement in both the cases with two different ways. Film simulation bracketing. So let's first allow to choose one of the options here. So before choosing that, let me just walk through all of this. So A bracketing, we already spoke about it. ISO bracketing, we again spoke about it. Then we have film simulation bracketing. This bracketing basically I need to choose what type of film I need to simulate. That's vivid or standard, and that is in this case of Fujifilm they call it Velvia and Provia. So I just need to choose one of those. I'm not sure what this dynamic range bracketing is. The white balance bracketing, obviously I need to choose the range between which the white balancing bracketing will occur. So from my point of view, the main thing which I'm interested in is the AE bracketing. So let me choose that. And when I'm going into AE bracketing, in order to fine tune it and tell what kind of bracketing it needs to do, this is the second option which I need to choose here. So I have options to choose between plus or minus 1. So basically when I choose this option, it gives me three images, one correctly exposed, one with plus 1 compensation, and one with minus 1 compensation. The same thing I have with the 2/3 and 1/3. I'm not sure why Fujifilm restricted itself at this level. It could have gone up to plus or minus 3, plus or minus 7. I mean, it could have gone all along. It's again just a software functionality. I'm sure based on the feedback, they're gonna incorporate more into it. I would personally prefer to have plus or minus 3 with three images, one correctly exposed, one minus 3, and one plus 3. But since we don't have this option, I think I'll stick with plus or minus 1. Again, I have the similar kind of functionality with ISO bracketing. So 1, 2/3, and 1/3. And film simulation bracketing, although I'll not be using this, I'll have to choose what kind of simulation it does. White balance bracketing, this basically gives me three images with a slight variation in white balance system. These two, the film simulation bracketing and the white balance bracketing, if you ask me, I would personally do it in post processing. I will not use this camera for doing that, but in case you don't want to spend a lot of time on that, maybe you can try doing it here. Although the option is there, so there is every chance that you can use it or not use it. Advanced filter bracketing, again this basically lets you choose the type of filter you want to use while bracketing, and then click images and camera will automatically apply that filter onto it. Again, like I said, I will not be using this. For me, the main reason for using the bracketing is to have exposure at different levels and let the camera take 3 to 4 images, in this case only 3 images with different exposure settings compensations. So let me choose this, and I have selected the bracketing as AE bracketing. And after this, there is a dial on top here which needs to be moved to bracketing functionality. This is something which I did not get it initially. I was under the assumption that as soon as I choose this and click the button, system will automatically take three pictures, but that's not the case. Once you set this in the menu, you will have to go here and change this dial to bracketing mode. That's when this camera will start clicking three pictures. If you don't choose this mode, whatever settings you do here, it will still continue to take single pictures like a mm, normal picture without any kind of bracketing here. So having done this, let's go ahead and take a picture, and you will see that it will take three pictures and store it. And the good part about it is you can choose raw images, and the raw images will be stored onto the SD card, which is good because we can use that at a later point in time for post processing and for combining of those three images in Photomatic Pro or any other software which you might be using. So the next topic which I wanted to talk about is focus peaking. How do I need to adjust that? So in order to do that, I need to go to menu option number 4 and MF assist. So basically I need to set the MF assist to focus peaking and highlighting. When I choose this option, I also have an option to choose what color of focus peaking I need. And when I choose that, I prefer red. Basically it gives me the feeling that some ants are moving around, and if I see more ants on the screen, that means the image is in focus. So I chose red high, and once I choose this option, the focus peaking will be active. And remember that focus peaking will not be active in autofocus mode, so you'll have to basically move your autofocus mode to manual focus, and that's when you see those red color things appearing, that is the focus peaking appearing. So now if you see the image, not sure if you're able to see this, but you will see that in the focused part of the image appears to be red. In this case, in this image specifically, the screws appear to be red, and even the socket appears to be red. This shows that the focus peak in the focus has been or rather the camera is focused on these parts of the image. However, I would like to mention, if you're using this camera in a very low lit situation, for some reason, or sometimes I have also seen that these red dots appear or focus peaking even because of the camera grain or camera, I don't know what you call that, but it also tracks that. So you need to be a little bit careful when you're using in a dark lit or a badly lit room, that the focus peaking might incorrectly show things which are badly lit as a part of high contrast area or focus peaking area. So this is how you set up focus peaking and set up bracketing in Fujifilm X-T1. So having said this, I hope this helps you take good bracketed shots and set up focus peaking in Fujifilm X-T1. This is Sandeep signing off. Thank you.